man, why has Hartnell been so good this season? Well, the traditional style of screening like Holmstrom, Bufflin is just put your ass in the goalie's face, but Hartnell uses a new school thing where he uses his fro. And then, yeah, please do! What a great goal! Dude! Crazy throwing waffles. Woo! Who are you? Optimus Prime! Leafs lose 4-3 to the Philadelphia Flyers. Continuing a concerning trend this season where they don't really beat great teams, but I'm going to get to that later. Not even halfway through the period, Mike Brown and Zach Rinaldo dropped the gloves, and Mike Brown dropped Zach Rinaldo. And anyone who ever saw him play in the OHL and has been paying attention to his rookie season is kind of going, all right, here we go. Because when Burke talked about rats taking over the game, he fits the description awful well. I mean, he's not a complete wimp. He took on Mike Brown. You got to give him the props for that. But you know this guy is going to be a super pest, semi-dirty kind of player his whole career. And for years now, Leafs fans have been like, where's our guy like that? And well, he might be on his way. Brad Ross, second-round pick, might be the most hated player in the WHL. He's certainly one of them. Who knows how far away he is? Who knows if he'll even pan out? But something to look forward to, potentially. First goal, Hartnell bangs it in past James Reimer, and like a millisecond later decides, hey, my team's got some momentum, so let me ruin it. Hartnell got hit a little earlier in the play, but no need to give Phaneuf the tap after you scored a goal. The goal is your tap. If I was a Flyers fan, that'd drove me nuts. Hartnell's another one of those Smeagol Gollum type players in the NHL that has this constant battle between good and evil. He's got 26 goals so far this season. The good side's winning, but every now and then that little, I'm gonna fight for enough after this goal. Can't be doing dumb stuff like that if you want to cut the process. Less than a minute into the second, one of the best Leafs on the ice last night, Tyler Bozak just throws it on net and it finds its way through Bobrovsky and in. More on Bozak later. About 3 minutes later, and this has killed the Leafs this season, I would love to know what percent of their goals have been deflections, but that's exactly what happened on this one. Max Talbot with the perfect tip. He's already got 13. Not bad for a player that's expected to do what he does. Speaking of great season so far, Joffrey Lupul gets his 22nd goal of the season already, giving him number 2-2 to tie at 2-2 in period number 2. It was a great, tight game up until this point, and then it fell apart. Because Scott Hartnell with the beautiful feed to Claude Giroux, wide open shot, and he's not going to miss. 3-2. Gardner, again, he's been a great rookie for the Leafs. I think he's been eating up a lot of minutes, a lot of key minutes, power play, penalty kill, but I would have loved to see him be a little more aggressive on this, especially considering, oh my god, that's Claude Giroux. And then about a minute later, Brayden Schenn flies out of nowhere, puts it in. The Flyers have a 2-goal lead after about a minute of just hiccups. Philadelphia, by the way, one of those teams that people are talking about, who are they going to add heading into the playoffs? Well, this sounds kind of weird, but they're adding Brayden Schenn, slowly but surely. Because he didn't have a goal, he didn't even have a point for the first 8 games of the season, and of course there was a concussion too. Since that 8-goal drought that of course ended in the Winter Classic, Brayden Schenn has 9 points in 18 games. Not amazing, but he's contributing. And if part of what you're looking for is a little extra scoring depth, well, that's some extra scoring depth. Although I'm sure the Flyers would much rather have a defenseman, but if Brayden Schenn keeps getting better, that makes another forward expendable. 5 points in his last 7 games, just saying. 2 minutes to go. Bozak has some skill, he has some hands, but he's not quite at the level of Lupul and Kessel, so where he's made his money this season is in front of the net, and that's where he gets this goal. Bozak with points in 4 straight games, 7 points over those 4 games. A lot of people still saying they'd like the Leafs to go out and get someone else for that top line. I think I may still agree, but Bozak's been doing his part this season, 34 points in 46 games. Put it this way, you basically get what you pay for, and Bozak's cap hit this season is 1.5 mil. I would say that production is much more valuable than 1.5 mil. Are those numbers inflated? Maybe, we can have that argument, but the fact still remains he's pulling his weight. But unfortunately, at the end of this one, the Leafs outshot 39-27, 16-5 in the first, and you're not going to win too many doing that. Leafs lose 4-3. Now, earlier I referenced the Leafs struggling against some better teams, and some people are panicking now because, the Leafs lost 2 straight. Let me ask you this. The Leafs have lost 2 straight. Some people freaking out. In the games before that, the 6 games before that, the Leafs went 5-0-1. Let's pretend, just mix and match in your head, the last 8 games, the Leafs still went 5-2-1, but it wasn't in the order that it just happened. I don't think people would really be freaking out. However, next 4 games, really for the rest of the season, but screw it, the next 4 games are so key. You gotta beat the Habs Saturday night for 3 reasons. 1, you really need the points. 2, the Habs haven't been very good this season, and if you're gonna make the playoffs, you should be able to beat them. And 3, Matt Sundin night. Huge pressure. I want to see the Leafs win in that sort of situation. Then the Leafs head west for a 3-game road trip for that dastardly Western Canadian run. Oilers, Flames, Canucks. Here's what I'm saying, just being realistic. Out of those 3 games, if you come out with 3 out of 6 points, good to go. If you win the Habs game, you got 5 out of 8. That's over 500. But even if it means the Leafs losing to the Oilers and the Flames, both of them, want to see them beat Vancouver. The Canucks have really humbled the Leafs over the last few seasons, and if you're going to make the postseason, you should be able to at least once in a while beat the Canucks. But again, third game of that awful Western Canadian road trip. So you can see why I said the next 4 games are crucial. Because after you get home from that road trip, boom, 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 the Leafs have 4 straight home games against some really key playoff opponents. So we'll see how it goes, 4 games at a time, I guess. After this weekend, the Leafs could be 7th in the East, or they could be in 9th. But at least this season, they're looking both up and down instead of just up. Question of the game, and this might seem kind of weird. Saturday night, obviously Sundin night, getting his jersey honored. The question, should his jersey be retired? Lots of Leafs numbers and players honored, but only 2 numbers are retired, and both of those players had to die in order for that to happen. So Matt Sundin, was he the greatest Leaf of all time? You could certainly make the argument. I don't think it'd be that hard. Should his number be retired? In my opinion, no. I think he'll make the Hall of Fame. I mean, if Dino Ciccarelli's in, and this is no knock on him, but if he's in, Sundin's got to be in. The whole no cup thing, and Sundin is the last person that should be blamed for that, but the whole no cup thing kind of ruins it. So that's my SteveDangle.com poll. You can answer that on SteveDangle.com. Follow me on Twitter at Steve_Dangle. Like my page on Facebook, Steve Dangle page. And check out my new Tumblr as well, link in the underbar.